Humanity is approaching a moment we haven't seen since 1995. Back then, a massive rush to claim digital territory birthed the consumer internet as we know it today. Today, we are in the middle of an artificial intelligence gold rush, and it is chaotic. Tech companies are pushing developers to the breaking point, with job postings literally demanding candidates to do whatever it takes to win, even if it means extreme toxic burnout. Everyone is sprinting to build the smartest models and the most capable chatbots, but almost no one is looking at the actual digital concrete those applications will have to run on. Because of this blind sprint, we are rapidly constructing a massive, sprawling digital ecosystem that lacks basic structural management. It is an environment completely vulnerable to spoofing, exploitation, and catastrophic routing errors. Control over the digital highways where these programs operate determines the long-term balance of power in the AI era. We are transitioning from an internet where humans click on websites to an agentic execution environment. This is an internet where AI programs act autonomously to complete tasks without human supervision. Within a decade, researchers expect hundreds of trillions of these autonomous AI agents to come online. They will act as digital employees, negotiating contracts, writing code, and executing financial transactions. But there is a glaring void in the system. These trillions of agents do not have a unified identity framework. They lack a digital passport, required to verify exactly who they are, and crucially, who is legally liable for their actions. If we ignore this void, the Internet of tomorrow will harden into fragmented, walled gardens, dictated by strict national borders, or it will be entirely captured by a few private corporate monopolies. Without a global identity layer, we are building a fractured infrastructure. We will have trillions of autonomous actors operating at lightning speed, with zero accountability, zero universal trust, and no unified way to route their data. To understand how to fix this, we have to look at how the early internet solved its own routing chaos in the 1990s. Engineers at AT&T Bell Labs set up the very first commercial Whois server. A Whois server is a standardized database that lets anyone look up who actually owns a specific web address. This architecture relied on the top-level domain, or TLD. A TLD is the string of letters at the end of a web address, like .com, successfully organizing millions of websites into a single directory. This system works because it is managed by multi-stakeholder international bodies, primarily ICANN. ICANN is a global nonprofit that coordinates the Internet's naming system, ensuring no single tech CEO can dictate how traffic flows. Foundational infrastructure outlives the people who invent it. The only proven way to stabilize a global network is through neutral, internationally coordinated naming layers. Today, that domain infrastructure creates massive accidental wealth, a phenomenon known as sovereign roulette. Take the small Caribbean island of Anguilla. Back in 1995, they were assigned the country code domain .ai. Fast forward to today, and AI companies worldwide are rushing to register web addresses ending in those two letters. International domain registration fees make up roughly 16% of Anguilla's gross domestic product, generating millions for local public health. This accidental windfall is a working minimum viable product, proving digital AI infrastructure can directly fund physical public welfare. This introduces the NVIDIA shovels strategy. Just as NVIDIA made billions selling the computing hardware required to train models, we need to build the identity shovels, dedicated domain spaces like .agent or .agi that these programs require to function. Capturing this foundational identity layer is the most mathematically proven, scalable way to generate lasting wealth during a technological boom. To understand the true scale of this opportunity, look at the corporation VeriSign, which holds a monopoly over the .com namespace. VeriSign generates approximately $1.5 billion every single year. They do this simply by managing the routing and trust certificates for human-operated websites. Now, look at this visualization comparing human internet scale to the incoming AI economy. While there are millions of human-run .coms, there will soon be hundreds of trillions of Web3 AI agent identities. Web3 is a decentralized version of the internet, built on cryptographic proofs rather than centralized servers. Imagine a structural shift. What if the registry managing these trillions of agents isn't handed to a private corporate monopoly, but is instead structured as a globally governed public benefit registry? The registration, renewal, and microtransaction fees from these digital workers could be pooled and funneled directly into a worldwide universal basic income. Universal basic income, or UBI, is a socioeconomic model where citizens receive a regular, unconditional sum of money from the system. By securing the identity layer and directing its revenue to the public, the automation economy ceases to be a machine that destroys jobs. Instead, it transforms into a self-funding global social safety net. We have a strict deadline to make this happen. In 2026, ICANN will open a highly anticipated application window to establish new infrastructure domains. The structural decisions approved during this specific window will permanently set the architecture for the agent-driven internet, locking in the routing rules for centuries. While tech giants race to maximize machine intelligence, a global system built on human welfare, on care, directly addresses the problem of massive economic displacement. We have to establish this public benefit infrastructure right now, before legacy tech monopolies completely capture and enclose the namespace for themselves. Designing the AI identity infrastructure now prevents legacy monopolies from dictating our digital future. A globally governed namespace provides the stable, public funding required to align these autonomous systems with human prosperity.